Hey everybody, today's video is about art. More specifically, first edition AD&D art. Now, as an artist, I started pretty much when I was a kid. It's just as soon as I could pick up a crayon, I started drawing. I like dinosaurs. I did a lot of dinosaurs. As I got close to being, a teenager, I discovered, of course, Dungeons and Dragons, and fantasy became my choice of art genre, I guess. I love dragons and stuff like that, and that's the main thing that got me into Dungeons and Dragons in the first place. But I do plan on doing some of the other books. I figured it'd be way too long and you'd probably get bored with watching them all at one time. So I'm just going to do the first edition AD&D today. I'm doing the reprints, not the original covers that they put out. The reason being is I don't have those. These were the first books that I had when I was growing up. And I never, even though I am a collector, I'm more of a nostalgia collector. I collect things that remind me of my childhood and, things of my past. And since I never had those books, I've never tried to purchase them. I don't see the need. They don't do anything for me, even though it's the exact same book. The covers, like I said, these are what I grew up on, and when I look at them, that just screams Dungeons and Dragons to me. Even though the newer art has progressed a lot, and there's a lot of good new artists out there. These, and some, there's some people that say, "Oh my gosh, that's horrible, horrible art," but I kind of did. I kind of said that as well. At the time, of course, I was a kid, but I've really grown to like it. I don't know if it's because it's nostalgic to me or if I just learned to appreciate different types of art. But we're going to start off here with the Player's Handbook. The cover is by Jeff Easley, who is a very well-known artist for Dungeons and Dragons. As a matter of fact, he did the covers for all of the first edition books, the core books. I really like his artwork. It's got its own style to it, and I used to say, it was kind of fuzzy looking or something. I don't know how he did it, what kind of brush strokes he used. I've met him a couple of times at conventions, and never really asked him that, but maybe in hindsight I should. Of course, very inspired by hobbits stuff. But the artwork in these, me and my best friend, we used to joke around about, whose cousin, whose nephew did this artwork. I mean, you've got stuff like this, which, like I said, I absolutely love this artwork now. But as a kid, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a Dungeons and Dragons artist. It's going to be easy. Look at what's out there. No offense to DCS and some of the older guys, Trampier. Like I said, I love the artwork now, but just at the time as a kid, we made fun of it. We really did. And I kind of feel bad. Here's one of my favorite pieces of art. I call this the Tippy Toe Thief, and the reason being, if you look, it doesn't look like his feet are really flat. It looks like he's kind of standing on his tippy toes while he's robbing this guy. And his arm is, look at that arm. It's like Stretch Armstrong there. Look at me. I can get you from across the way. So yeah, it's just at the time, like I said, I thought it was bad art, and there's a lot of people that still criticize it. Otis, there's a lot of people that say his stuff is crap, but that, like I said, that to me is just it all screams D&D when I look at it. It's the newer stuff is great. The You know, there's a lot better artwork, but this just does something for me. It makes me feel happy. I love it. So next we're going to look at the Dungeon Master's Guide here. And by the way, these are my original books that I bought back in the day. Just a quick story while I'm looking up some of the stuff in here. This is a lot less art in this and a lot more rules, it seems. Just a quick story. When I got the Fiend Folio, which I do have the original. I don't know if they redid it. I don't think they redid it. It was kind of during the whole Satanic Panic era, and my mom really started getting involved in the music I was listening to. I was listening to, you know, Metallica and Anthrax and just Iron Maiden, all sorts of stuff like that. And the Satanic Panic went further than Dungeons and Dragons. And actually, the music, I think, probably got attacked earlier and probably had been being attacked a lot longer. Of course, you know, some guy wrote in a suicide note that he wanted to kill himself to Ozzy Osbourne or something. There was a whole lawsuit even. You know, Ozzy Osbourne got sued over this kid who killed himself because of his parents and stuff. So that really set it off. It's like, oh my god, people who play Dungeons and Dragons and listen to heavy metal, they're killing themselves. We're not going to have children left. It's like, at that time period, like 3% of the people, children out there, played D&D, so you weren't going to lose that many. It's alright. Like I said, this is actually, as you see here, there's a piece of art. Actually, I love this art. And I like this art. I thought this was one of the better pieces. Trying to close on me there. If I can get this in front of the freaking camera. Let me back off a bit. Sort of like a guy on a horse. Kind of looks like Death. Looking out over the ocean. Yeah. That's cool. And I actually started using this method of the black. You know, using the white areas as my actual medium, and instead of the ink itself, which is hard to do because you're sitting there for hours. Alright, sorry about that. My mom was calling. Always answer the phone with your mom, even if you're making a YouTube video. It's your mom. Answer the phone. Alright, so got that out of the way. Sorry about the interruption. I was talking about the using the black parts to shade in everything around the white to make the picture. Like I said, that was very hard to do. You spent hours and hours and hours just, you know, just going back and forth making everything black. And I tried to cheat a few times and get, like, you know, permanent markers and stuff on those big fat ones. It doesn't work because the ink and both of them are different, and it just kind of messes it up. So it's a lot easier now. I use, even when I do regular drawings, you know, pencil and paper, or pen and paper, I scan them on the computer and I use Photoshop to touch them up. So it's a lot easier to do stuff like that now because I'm just I'll do a little bit of an outline and say, okay, the rest of this is going to be black, and I'm just going to do it on Photoshop. Screw that. And I got a couple like that on my website. But again, like I was saying, I was looking for artwork. I was telling you that story while I was... actually, I was telling a story about the Satanic Panic. As you see, there's just not a lot of art in the DM's guide. It's a lot more words and stuff. Nice little satyr, however you say that. But when I got the Fiend Folio, I'm skipping around here. I know, sorry about that. But when I got the Fiend Folio, it had, of course, all the devils and demons and stuff like that in it. And Satanic Panic was going on. Like I said, my mom was really getting into the music I was listening to, and, you know, really she was trying to take my tapes, cassette tapes. Yes, for all you young people out there, there were these things called cassette tapes. And they were horrible. They were a horrible, horrible medium, and they always got stuck in your player, and it's always your favorite thing, you know. your favorite music, and you're trying to pull the tape out of the boom box, and there's a big line of tape going down into it. You know, you had to learn to use like glasses, the little screwdriver glasses, screwdrivers. I will get this out. Or a little bitty screwdriver like that, and you just take screws out, pop it apart, and you could wind it back up. Everything was alright again for a little while until it did it again. And sometimes it would crinkle it, and you'd get these weird warped things and everything. So anyway, yeah, the Fiend Folio. I didn't want my mom to see it, so, you know, while everything else on my shelves was like this, the Fiend Folio was like that. Did not want my mom seeing that. She was trying to take my tapes, and I was like, well, they're kind of religious. And I showed her Metallica, Creeping Death, which was just, you know, straight out of Genesis. It's about the firstborn Pharaoh's son being killed because, you know, he wouldn't let Moses' people go. So I showed her the lyrics to that, and she kind of calmed down for a little while. She's like, oh, I didn't know heavy metal groups made religious songs. I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, Iron Maiden, they're all about religion and goodness and greatness. They don't have a song about the number of the beast. Alright, so we're looking at the monster manual now. I really like that artwork. I just there's something about Easley's dragons. Like, this one doesn't have the traditional two horns coming out the side of its head like most of the red dragons do. So I kind of don't like that because of that. But other than that, I mean, he's got like I said, he's got a very particular style. Some people don't like it. I do. Here we go, just some giants. Again, these are not horrible drawings, but we just see a lot better today, and it just, I guess, some people who just got into it with later editions look back on it and kind of cringe, you know, like the brain puppy. I love the brain puppy. And we used to run from those. We were so scared of intellect devourers. The Minotaur. Again, there's this is actually, I think, the same guy from that did the other picture. I don't know his name right offhand. But the Minotaur with the black background and stuff. I started copying a lot of the style of artwork and stuff. Oozes. And when did Green Slime... Tell me when Green Slime changed from the Monster Manual to being a dungeon condition in the DMG. I think it was 3rd edition that started that, but I guess it's not actually a monster. The dreaded purple worm. No, not the purple worm. I'm dropping my books everywhere. Alright. So that's the Monster Manual. I dropped the Monster Manual too, so I have to recover it. I know this is not a professional YouTube channel, but look at my camera. Look at that. It's horrible. It's probably all fuzzy. I'm just using my laptop camera. I don't care. So, 1st edition Monster Manual 2. Again, just like the opening page here is just like, what the hell? Whose cousin is that? How'd they get a job? But like I said, love it or hate it, I don't care, because I love it. I mean, we got a giant catfish. Somebody took the time to draw a giant catfish and a giant cricket for the Monster Manual. And let's not discount the Cat Lord. Actually, I based one of my first characters, probably about my 3rd or 4th character, on that guy. And he just was some thief with a bunch of cats. Back then, we didn't know what the hell we were doing anyway, so we just made up stuff. We literally as a DM, because nobody else wanted DM. Everybody else around me that I played with, didn't want to learn the rules. So since they didn't know the rules, it was easy for me to become a DM. So pretty much whatever they were trying to do, I'd be like, okay, roll the dice. So they'd roll their d20. If it was kind of high, I'd be like, yeah, you did it. You succeeded. If it was low, I'd be like, oh, no, you suck. You died. You're dead. Screw your hit points. I don't care. You just took them all. But anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Rambling. Wolf in sheep's clothing. I thought that was one of the stupid monsters of the day, but I guess a lot of people like them. But anyway, yeah. So, not... oh, wow. Phallic much there, people? What is this? Is that fungus? Or is that somebody... Is that a Disney artist sneaking some penises in there? Alright. So, since we've gotten on to penis jokes, I think we're going to just go ahead and end this video. Okay? Alright. So, make sure you subscribe, and that way, when I do 2nd edition, which is probably going to be the next art I'm going to do, you'll be able to get it right away and be like, oh, look, hey, here's the 2nd edition artwork I'm looking for. Actually, I probably won't. I'll do basic next. Probably should have done that first. Not really sure. Those kind of 1st edition and basic kind of came out hand in hand. But alright, I'll do basic next. So, subscribe, because you like to listen to people ramble about D&D. Why wouldn't you?